Now that Joe is a lame duck president, there's a lot less scrutiny on his presidency, even though he's got to make it till January. One of the things that's come out as people look at the White House log, Israel hater, Jew hater, American hater Linda Sarsour has been to the White House and met with them, and no apologies given for inviting one of the biggest anti everybody racists in America. Will Johnson, there are people researching the White House visitors log now that Joe Biden is a lame duck president. And he's not even apologizing anymore for being unavailable, for not being able, and so on. And it strikes me as kind of funny, not a ha-ha funny, sort of a sad funny, that the White House press secretary and everyone else has stopped with all the incessant lies about how he runs circles around everybody and no one can keep up with him. And Kamala was a big part of that cover up. One of the things that's coming out now is that Linda Sarsour, the I hate America, I hate Israel, I hate Jews activist, that's her there, was at the White House a number of times. And it just came out, somebody found it in the White House logs. Remember, this is the lady that said Zionism is similar to white supremacy in America, that Israel shouldn't exist. The White House did say after Biden was elected that Linda Sarsour had no role in the campaign. But after the outcry of her being associated with Biden, Biden said she wasn't involved and then has apologized for being disrespectful and hurtful to the views of Linda Sarsour. Does it seem to you, as we were talking before we came on the air, that the Democrat Party is moving so far left that it's much better for them electorally to be aligned with radical Muslims that hate Jews and hate Israel and hate America than the traditional Democrat Party, which did support Israel?
No, I'm not surprised by it at all. I think that the traditional Democrat Party, they've always hated Israel, in my personal opinion. They just kept up this facade to have Jewish people in the United States of America, even around the world. Hey, we're with you. We're standing with you. We support you. But in the background, behind closed doors, they hated Israel. And I know a lot of people go, well, the Kennedy Democrats. I don't trust any of them, Barry, because we're talking about the same Democrat Party, the same entity that enslaved black people, didn't want white people voting or white women voting. They didn't want black people voting. It's the same Democrat Party. But for them to embrace this whole socialism for them to embrace this Islamic terrorism, that's who they really are. It's not really surprising at all.
Like we talked about, look who they picked for VP. The governor of Minnesota, who is about as far left as you can go, and we'll talk about it later, but that jives perfectly with the Linda Sarsour, AOC, Rashida Tlaib. We hate America, we hate Israel,
Yep.
And we don't like Jews very much either.
Yeah, it lines right up with it. And they're not even hiding it any longer. And I think the main reason why is because they see President Trump as completely radical. He's radical to their ideology. He's the exact opposite of what they are. They want to bring in the Sharia. They want to bring in all of this Islamic ideology. You just mentioned the VP pick for Kamala Harris. Now he changed the state flag from the flag that's been there before he was born to an 8-point star flag, which we all know what that represents, right? So they're gradually pushing the entire country and that state to Islam. I mean, let's call it what it is, because we're talking about socialism and communism. There's no democracy involved when it comes to Kamala Harris. Barry, who voted for Kamala Harris again?
Yeah, I remember. Nobody.
So that's exactly it.
And in 2 elections for president of the United States, she's earned 0 delegates.
Yeah.
Never happened in American history, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're placing her in there. And Bear, really quick, if I can, let me just ask one question. Maybe you know the answer to this. I don't know if I've asked you this before. When it comes November and Joe Biden's name is still on some of the ballots because by some states it's against the law for them to change the name on the ballot. When they vote for Joe Biden in these states, are they going to say, well, this vote for Joe Biden is just an automatic vote for Kamala Harris? Because if that's the case, when they vote for President Trump, they could just go ahead and say, well, this vote is actually meant for Kamala Harris. What's to
Yeah,
stop them from doing that?
that's a perfectly good question. This has never happened in American history. Obviously, our viewers know this. There are going to be petitions and lawsuits by the Democrat Party in every state to change the rules on the ballots because the election is in less than 3 months and voting is going to start in some of these states, in like 45 days. They've
Yeah.
got to get the ballots changed. They've got to get new names on the ballots. They've got to take an old name off the ballot. It's a lot of legal work to do. And it's going to get weird. It's going to get really weird in the next month or so. Stand by.
Yeah. I mean, because I've been asking that question.
Nobody knows because it's never happened before.
Does it make sense to you that they're going to say that? That things, well, we know because they were on the ticket together. Obviously, it means they voted for Joe, and obviously, it means for
they're
Kamala
doing that
Harris.
with all the money. The hundreds of millions is all
Yeah.
being transferred to the Kamala Harris campaign.